Hey, it's Margie with the Asking Spot, and this is my 1944 house, what we are trying to get back together. However, in this one, it's just doing all the basics that anybody buying a new home should do. And that is, for starters, change your locks. Now, the front door, this one was a touchy subject for me because I was also agreed with like everybody else who's owned this house before. That beautiful curved door, the original lock, you just don't want to mess with it. So I'm not going to change it. However, the prior owners had a security system put in and it just was plastic and very unattractive and didn't fit with the period of the piece. A chain lock, that does. So I put that up because let's face it, who comes in the front door? Company. We won't, so it's all right if we just have a chain lock there. And yes, we have security cameras set up, but
calm down.
They're now outside, unobtrusive. You can't really see them, so it works out. The back door lock. Every other house we've done, except for I think one my brother-in-law helped me with, and he's fantastic. But generally speaking, I have changed all the locks, and it's no problem. It's kind of easy to take it apart, and you put it all back in. However, with this door, the hole for the door versus the hole for the new touchpad, it was different sizes. This one needed a larger hole. And that has never been a problem before. You just go get a drill bit. It even tells you what size and you're done. However, this is a really good winter insulated door. And unfortunately, no, our drill bit wouldn't go through it. So yes, had to hire a locksmith.
Yikes.
Yeah, is there a cha-ching sound? But hey, the nice thing was he confirmed that, hey, it wasn't us. It really is. You wouldn't have been able to find a drill bit to get through that door. It was too hard. He had a special one. So, done. Then we move into filters. You really need to change your filters. And changing the upstairs filter, while it's a little precarious because it's over the staircase and whatever, that was no problem. Took care of that. Downstairs filter. That's when things got expensive again.
We're on a tight budget here.
So I went to change the filter and it was wet.
Not good.
Like really soggy wet. And I thought, okay, well, maybe because they haven't changed it in a while.
Wrong.
Fine. I put in the other filter they had laying around.
Wrong.
And it was wet within just a few hours. So that's not good.
You think?
I called our heating and air guy. And the thing is you do this anyway, and I was going to do it with it. So this was no problem. Having him come in and do a thorough cleaning and make sure all the pipes are running clear and everything's great. And he did that and like, I think $80, well worth it. And there was no drips on the filter. And then I got a new, more correct filter, which was a MERV 8. I will have a longer diatribe about how to know what filter you should get at the end of this. But, so that was all good, but there was still some moisture in the back. And as it turns out, he called it sort of like a manufacturing error. It wasn't anything anybody could do, but it was sort of how when they installed it wrong, because inside it has a pan that's like this, and it's supposed to drip water, condensation comes down, and it's supposed to drip into here and go out. Well, they installed it just a little bit like this. So now it was going over here and kind of getting out, not a lot, and then finally going back in. But the problem with that is even if it didn't create a lot of water here, it's creating water pooling here. And anytime you get water pooling, you can get rust. That's not good. So he put a silicone bead and a silicone kind of stint, I don't know, something so that it would make it so it would go back in to where it's supposed to go. So now, hopefully that's great, and I won't see those guys again until April when we get our usual annual checkup for the AC unit. I'm scheduling them twice a year, one before winter starts to check the heating part, and one before summer starts to check the cooling part. Every home should do that. Then, the next thing every home should do. That's that dryer vent. Now, when we did the one in our last house, I wish we were filming it because it was pretty cool. It was something we had never seen in any other house we'd lived in. Squirrels had packed it full of nuts.
Ooh, scary.
Who can blame them? Hot nuts? Nice. The only thing is total fire hazard, really, really dangerous, but it was kind of interesting to see. This dryer did not have that. It had more of a standard problem. And here's how it went. Welcome to our laundry room. Not really the cutest thing, but yeah. These things are so off balance. We're going to be working on that. The shims are kind of just temporary. But before we do any of that, got to do safety first. This needs to be cleaned.
Yuck.
That was scary. Like, what's making all that noise still? All right, so this was left behind by the prior owners. It's never been opened. So my hope is it actually fits because it has the proper connections rather than just tape, but we'll see. This is handy. Oh, I'm afraid. Should have done this earlier, but now I have a mask on. As this. Ooh.
Gross.
I'm going to spare you the action of that in here because it's just a lot of noise. Scary how much has come out of this thing already. Now, I emptied this before I started vacuuming in there.
Ew.
That's all just from inside that dryer. That's a lot of grossness.
Moving on. Wrong again.
Okay, so that end is smaller than this end. So I took it off.
Finally.
What do you know? It fits just fine. So now I'm in a bit of a predicament, but I got it. All right, so this worked much better. We taped it. That makes much more sense. So now I'm going to apply this to hold this outside ring in place. This should not be a problem. You know what? I'm going to take that one too.
Ta-da!
So contrary to appearances, more is not more. The more places you have to bend, the more places you have to hide lint.
Ew.
And that's more chances for a fire. Since I have this attached to the base, I'm going to go ahead and look to just make sure that the hose is at least 2 feet shorter over here. So I should have a fairly good just straightaway connection. So basically, yeah, if I can get rid of this or not, I should have a nice easy connection to that. All right, now for a little more cleaning on this. Okay, so it is even working quieter. And everything seems to be working well here. We're gonna check it later and see how it dried. This is working well too. Very happy about that. Yeah, I know, we need some paint. So 30 minutes later, we have dry clothes. Tangled up in a duvet, but they're dry. Yay! Not exactly the most dynamic before and after, but hey, no longer a fire hazard. Happy about that. And yeah, I think all the rules apply to anybody else. And if I can do it, I think you can do it. Coming up, I will have, some more boring stuff, but it's really vital. I'm going to be working on some insulation and some cleaning of bathroom vents and whatnot. And then going to get into some, let's paint it, let's make it look different kind of stuff. That should be more of that's coming up. But before all that, December 20th, got my annual Christmas charity shop challenge. It's where you try and put $20 back into the community by, just shopping at thrift stores or garage sales or whatever you can, just really, really local. And then you take those items and you flip them to be either gifts or Christmas decor. So if you're a YouTuber that wants to get in on this little Christmas thrift challenge, by all means, hit me up, message me. You can find me on social as well with the Asking Spot. We'd gladly have you on board. Thanks for watching the Asking Spot. So what is a MERV rating? Well, MERV stands for Minimum Efficiency Reporting Value. And they usually run at 8, 11, and 13. And then I think there's also a 3 available, but it's usually not even counted as worthy. However, I have had an HVAC guy tell me, no, go with the 3s if it means you'll change it every month. I'm not one to want to do that. I don't want to do the wastefulness. And I checked with the HVAC guy for our home who saw our heating and air conditioning system, and he recommended an 8. And it makes sense. You think, why not go with 13? That's the highest, that's the best. It gets the most, particles out of the air. Well, here's the thing. That is usually right around, 13 and higher. That's where hospitals go. And you think, well, hey, I want that kind of protection. Well, you're coming in and out of your home all the time. You're going to expose yourself to allergens. So to have it that thick of a filter, you might not need it. And then 11 also might not be the right one for you because 8 and 11 do help keep out some of the allergens you have in your air. Of course, if you're a stronger sufferer with it, maybe 11 is exactly what you need. But again, check with your HVAC person. Here's the reason though, 8 worked for us. Our system is just over 10 years old. If you get something that's too thick, that's gonna get, all these other allergens and pollens out, well, it also makes it a little too thick for air to actually get through the system. And some systems can get strong enough that they will pull it up so they can get the air that they need. It's kind of like when you get too much dirt in there and you don't change your filters off. Well, guess what? It can't breathe, so it pulls up. And when it pulls up, that leaves little air pockets on either side. So it's kind of like you don't have a filter at all. That's why you want something that it can get some air through. And a MERV 8 worked perfectly for us. Again, check with your own HVAC person, see what they recommend. And of course, if you have manufacturer's instructions, follow those. But if you're like myself and kind of out, just not knowing what to get, hope this explanation kind of helped.